Alright, welcome back to another video. I want to make this video short. We're going to talk about my favorite index fund on Fidelity. We're also going to take a look at that index fund, all of the different properties of that fund, and try to get to know, I guess, the Fidelity interface. So if you're new to Fidelity, maybe this video can benefit you in some way. And recently, I've been making videos both about credit cards and stocks, so if you like that kind of thing, feel free to subscribe. And really, this is all just entertainment. It's something I like to do in my free time. And it's times like these, if you're watching around the time this is coming out, you probably know what I'm talking about, where the market's down drastically, and you can really pick up some good deals on things like index funds, ETFs, etc., and just dollar cost average your way to building wealth. And so I want to talk about my favorite index fund on Fidelity, and that is ticker symbol FNILX, which you can only find on Fidelity. It is the Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index Fund. So this is the Fidelity interface. We're looking at that particular index fund. We're going to talk over what some of these things mean, but maybe one of the most important metrics you'll notice right off the bat is how it's been performing. So over the lifetime of this particular index fund, it has given an 11.28% return annually. But if we were looking at this number a year ago, when the stock market wasn't in the current state it is now, this lifetime annual return would be probably a lot higher. And something else to note, this fund was created 9/13/2018, so it wasn't around that long to really get an idea of the annual returns in a lifetime, because really it's only about 4 years old. Something else to note, year to date, as of right now, it's down 15%. So like I mentioned, maybe a good deal if you're interested. According to Fidelity, I guess this isn't Fidelity, this is Morningstar that's giving these ratings. It is pretty much on the right side of being in the middle in terms of risk. The expenses are considered low. In fact, there's no expenses. The returns are above average, and they give it a 4 out of 5 stars. So take that as you will. And so you can buy this index fund on Fidelity for a no transaction fee. So it's not going to cost you anything to purchase it or sell it. And it's also not going to cost you anything to hold it. The expense ratio is 0.00%. And then they also show you hypothetical growth. Here is FNILX, this index fund, versus a few other options. And you can see both it and the Fidelity US large cap are pretty much neck and neck. If we scroll down a bit, we can see the top 10 holdings. So these are the top holdings of this index fund. This is 27.56% of the index fund is held in these 10 stocks. We go from Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Alphabet, all the way down to Nvidia. And if you want to see all of the holdings, you can hit more and look at what it's composed by sector-wise. Here's the top 10 holdings again. And if we hit prospectus and reports, I believe that gives us all of the holdings. And yes, we'll hit monthly holdings report, go down to here, and here they list all of the holdings of this particular fund. So if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, stuff like Boeing is 0.248% of this fund. You can look that granular at what's in here. But we'll go back to summary. I want to see if there's anything else to talk about. I don't think there's anything else too crazy. Down here they show the 12-month low and the 12-month high. But let's go to fees and distribution. Some of these stocks in this fund pay a dividend, and they pay this dividend, it appears, every year. So if you end up having one share on December 3rd of 2021, they ended up paying you 16.1 cents. And what you can do in Fidelity, you can tell that I automatically want to reinvest it back into that index fund, which is what I do. And here's what that reinvestment price would be, depending on the price of the fund at that time. And then down here we have capital gains history. This is when a stock leaves the fund, and if they make money on that stock, right? If the fund bought it lower than they sold it, they distribute that money to all of the shareholders, and here's what ended up getting distributed in 2018. And that seems to be the only capital gains that was given out. And it wasn't much, it was 1.1 cents, so nothing to really worry about there. I guess something else to note here, this is kind of important because if you see a lot of capital gains, that might hinder you in a way where these are taxable events. Same with dividends. So if you get a large capital gain each and every year, that can add to the tax bill potentially. So I guess that's something to keep note of. But yeah, this is currently my favorite Fidelity index fund. I think it's the second biggest holding on my Fidelity portfolio, which is my main portfolio. And if you want to hear what my number one holding is. I plan on talking about that in a future video, so stay tuned for that if you care. And let me know if you are a Fidelity customer and if you have a different index fund that is your favorite. So thanks again, and I hope to see you in a future video.